All right, what up, y'all? My name is Vector, and you're currently in our next episode of Knowledge Yourself, aka KOS. My name is Vector. I'm here with Nato, and we have a special guest today, Speaks, Geeks. And then our topics today is we're gonna talk about album with Black Thoughts and the current trend that's a short album, and also we're gonna talk about old heads versus young heads. And then our final topic will be encouragement. So with that, we're just going to dive right in. So what are you guys' thoughts on the new Black Thought album?
I didn't get to listen to it. It came out when Kanye came out. I can't do anything about that.
Yeah,
I wanted to listen to that 20 minutes forever. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. But had I known, I would have given it a listen. Because I like Black Thought. So.
Do you think the fact, well, obviously, Kanye's album took a lot of, I don't want to say shine, but a lot of attention off of Black Thought's album.
It did.
Yeah.
Coming out at the same time.
That's hard to come out with Kanye at the same time, especially when Kanye's doing what he's doing. That's a hard time to drop any type of music.
And then plus, compared to, if you were at the day when I tried to look for the Black Thought album, I had to just type it in.
It wasn't
versus it wasn't on the new releases. So
Really?
Kanye was obviously
one
was
on the
right in there.
releases.
So when I wanted to look for that Black Thought album and Knife Wonder album collab, I literally had to just
look it
type
up.
it. Yep. And then what's interesting too is Noah James brought it up a few days ago, was on the EP, it was just strictly lyrics. There was no chorus like what you would anticipate with every song. So that was very intriguing. So once I found that out, it just gave a new listening experience, listening to the album. So
Yeah, it was cool because I listened to it literally 5 minutes before leaving the house. And then on the car right here. And David said the same thing. He said, yeah, there's no chorus. And I'm like, oh, that's actually, refreshing. Because I think a lot of music we listen to nowadays, the biggest thing, I mean, obviously chorus are big, hooks and whatnot. It's a big part of music. Mm-hmm. But I think listening to a project, 5 tracks without any, it's like seamless because there's no hook to remember. It's a constant, you got to be listening to it because it's bar after bar. Mm-hmm. There's no catchy hook in there, which is cool because I like songs that I don't think every song needs a chorus, but I think obviously some to appeal to a lot of people, you need a chorus. But I just like when an artist just goes, bars out and just lets it all happen. Because then it feels like I told David, sounds like it was more of a song, a project that you could find on Dat Piff.
Okay.
Yeah, you're but I've been told David, it's cool because if you're relevant in the music industry or you have fans and you're at that level, it's why would you want to put a 5 single project out when you could put it on this? But then the sound could be on Dat Piff because not saying it's bad or anything, but Dat Piff, you got your mixtapes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's why not put it on Apple to give it that streaming value so you could go home making a check rather than putting on Dat Piff. I think coming with the trends you talked about, I think that's a smart idea of a quick 5-6 track project, bam, put it out there rather than put it on Dat Piff when it has that mixtape feel of just barring out, okay, let's put on iTunes now to get people to stream it. I think that's pretty dope. It's really something smart.
yeah, I think the way I anticipate it too is the reason why I'm starting to see this trend now is because a lot of people, going back to streaming, they listen to music through their mobile devices now. And of course, with a no-brainer, music takes up a whole lot of storage, depending on how much memory your phone can carry. So I think that's a big factor as well too, where they're trying to experiment or try something new with less is more approach. So that's, I'm interested in that as well, but also I kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit. Because some of the artists are saying no, it's an album, but my argument is it's technically an EP, but
well, what is an album? I'm just kidding.
An album is
what is an album?
7 songs minimum 20 minutes if you want to be nominated for a
Well,
Grammy.
yeah.
Oh,
true.
really?
That's that's why it's like that.
Oh, shit.
It's like, I guess they're trying to, I don't know if this is exactly what they're trying to do, but like set a new standard. Like there's always something, not standard, but like set the new thing. Like we don't have to, I don't know, some artists I feel like they do too much. And this is like I do all this work and I don't get any credit for a huge body of work. So we're going to give you the bare minimum and be like, look, this is what we're giving now. And it kind of sucks. That's interesting. You know, it kind of sucks, but it's also like, okay, like you guys are trying something new. I don't know. I feel like for some fans it sucks because we want so much. You know, we want more music, but then it's like more of like, this is the artist taking care of the artist.
Right.
It's understandable.
But it's cool. But I mean, at that level, I think the only reason he does it is to give people like a different way of thinking. Like you have another way of releasing music. You don't have to drop 24 songs on an album and then like what? 7 of those songs are good and then the rest are just like fillers.
Just filler tracks.
Yeah, and that could be another approach where it's like rather than taking out the fillers, it's just we're just gonna give you what we think might be the top. If we had a 10-track album, we thought maybe 5 of those weren't cookie cutter like fillers, so we rather than giving you that, we're just gonna give you 4 songs.
Yeah, give you the meat.
And I think that's a good idea, but like that's a good way of approaching. That's when you said that, and then at the same time, like it's volume 1, so we don't know if that means next month there might be 4 other songs. Following month or whenever there might be another 4, and I think that's cool because there's more anticipation involved with it. And I think it's a good way to be more creative too. So it's like volume 1 is one topic, volume 2, volume 3, blah 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 blah. So I mean, it's another way of doing certain things, which I think is pretty dope.
And another outlet, like going like what you mentioned too, like we know what the possible, volume 1, volume 2, and then later on, like once all those volumes come in, like say like a fan wants to just purchase all those, like they can just have like one specific album with all the volumes together. And then what's also interesting too is like where the fans always, well, I should say some of the fans would complain like, when's the album coming out? When's it coming out? It keeps getting delayed. Now there's an outlet like, all right, well, you guys want an album? Here's 7 tracks, but these are the best tracks. Have at it. Type of deal.
I like it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
I just like different ways of putting music out. There's like so many different ways of doing it. I like that people keep trying to change it's how it's done, which is really cool because a lot of people are just, that's how someone's doing it, we're doing it like that then,
and I think that needs to be done right now because I think there's so many there's so many platforms out there.
Right.
Why not just why not do 4 to 5, take a break, see how they digest it. I mean, right now I think it's a great time for a lot of artists to really challenge the norm because I think that's what's really going on. I think music's in a different space right now, and I think a lot of people are starting to see it. So I think right now is a great time to experiment because I think that's really going on. Just a lot of experimental approaches to dropping albums, to making albums, to music, to sounds in general. It's crazy right now. It's interesting to see it. And I think it's a great idea to really just challenge the status quo rather than doing 13 tracks because that's a lot. Like that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot having to experience that to 13 to 14 tracks. I mean, right now the great thing is with technology, music wise, it's somewhat easier because it's more convenient. But at the same time, I think what you said about the fillers, like at that level, I think it's like a natural. It's like you got it. I mean, you spend so many years doing it. I think at that level, especially with Ninth, there's a high standard, but it's just I guess maybe they're so comfortable, not comfortable with the standard, but to them they know what they want. They know what sound they want, so they know like going back, this is not gonna cut it. It's not gonna cut it. So I think it's a good way to challenge themselves now too with that. So that's a good idea.
And then with Black Thought and Kanye, they're the first one. They're one of the few that are pushing it. And what's ironic, like after they came out, like Nas was another one with his album where it's just 7 tracks. So that one was one I was surprised. I was anticipating more, but when I saw the track, I was like, oh, it's 7 tracks. Like, no, this is like this. No one else has the less tracks that something's up. Huh?
Did you enjoy it?
I have to listen to it more because my first initial listen, I'm a real stickler when it comes to hip hop. So I tend to judge a track within like 5 seconds. If you don't catch me within those 5 seconds, like I'm skipping to the next track. So I mean, at the moment, as far as like answer, I say no. There's only one track that I'm feeling, and that was Adam and Eve. But to really digest that album and to give it a fair critique and a fair review, I need to listen to it to one more time before I have like a final thought.
That's
final
good that you're
judgment.
willing to say that. I feel like someone drops an album, the whole world just gets pissed off and says something. I'm like, damn, give it time to digest.
Yeah, and the same thing with like, that song, like, what's a good example? Like Kendrick was another good album when he released Damn. Everybody was like hyped up. I was like, oh, this is the greatest album. I was like, well, it just came out an hour ago.
Yeah, it hasn't been out for a day, and it's his greatest, his masterpiece. And it's like, you gotta sit on it, man. You gotta drive with it. You gotta clean the house to it. You gotta do all kinds of stuff to it, and then finally, get your final thought on it after some time. Like, I'll give an album Damn, I probably listened to it 20 times before I was like, oh, clearly there's great songs on it, but as a whole, like it's a dope album. Just because it's hard to get concepts, like a whole feel of an album. Like there's like little skits and stuff like that, and they all like fill in everything, like stuff like that. You got to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah,
you can't skip tracks. If you can't listen to it back to front to back, then it doesn't get a classic stamp.
No, it doesn't.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that. You have to be able to go from front to back. Like you got to go from this 1 to 8 or whatever without the interruptions to go. We just got the signal to wrap it up. That's tight. That's why I had to mention that. I was like, wrap it up. Who's the Chappelle show though?
All right.
You wrap it up. Wrap it up. Final thoughts on the album. From what I heard on my way here, it was tight. It was refreshing listening to it because first and foremost, this is the first time listening to Black Thought. I'm gonna throw that out there too, and I'm impressed, very impressed. I enjoyed it. I haven't really felt like I listened to hip hop like that in some time, so that was dope because I think So I enjoyed the album.
Oh yeah.
5 tracks. Was it 4 tracks? 4 or 5 tracks? 5 tracks.
Yeah, 5
Simple,
tracks.
easy to ear, and that's the cool thing about 5 tracks projects, especially if there's no hooks or no. It's you feel like it's seamless. It's like a water.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is like when I first listened to it, like I didn't notice like it was on a subconscious level where I was like, oh, it's like, but when I was like, oh,
yeah, that's cool about it.
That's nuts.
Anything else to add to it? No.
I'll have to listen to it now.
Go on your way home, listen to it.
I'll listen to it.
Make sure he listens to it on his way home.
old heads versus young heads.
Damn.
So, how should I approach this?
As honest as you can.
So, I used to be one of those individuals where I wouldn't give the young heads a chance in terms of listening to newer hip hop. But I remember this particularly when we interviewed Johnny Bars, and this is not word from word, but he said like, no, we're not giving the young heads a chance because the old heads tend to put them in a category like where they're considered like, mediocre, and that's not the case. There's out of that pile, there's a lot of talent in there. And that just hearing Johnny said that made me reanalyze myself and just look at certain MCs that I didn't give a chance at the time. Like example was Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City. When the album first came out, like I didn't even give it a listen or a try, except for a couple tracks that I felt. And after To Pimp a Butterfly came out, Like that was the album that I rock with. And after that stage where I listened it to death and played it to death, I decided to give Mag City a second chance. And after listening to it, it's a real solid album, especially from storytelling to concept. So that
real good album.
Yeah. So after I like realized that, I was like, no, that was just a harsh judgment on my part. Like I shouldn't jumped the gun on that aspect. It's like as far as like just giving people, the younger heads, a chance. And then just also just from hearing stories from other artists, like just the old heads can be brutal too. They can be just brutal where it's like, come on, it's like, well, you're judging the young heads for this, but are you teaching them? Are you guiding them? If so, if not, then honestly, you need to keep your mouth shut, and just pave the way for the younger heads. And if you want to pass on that knowledge, then you need to teach these young heads, because there's actually been some of the young heads that actually said like, yo, we're looking for that knowledge to get passed down, but a lot of these old heads, they're not giving us a chance. So I don't know, like, what are you guys' your thoughts on that, or do you agree, or?
I agree, like with what Johnny said, because I've talked to Johnny about that too, where it was just like people aren't like, I was the same way, not willing to give things a new listen, but then I have like friends that listen to the new artists, so I hear it a lot more, and then I'm like, you know what? There's some good stuff in here. There's great stuff in here, and then I was like, some of it, I was like, the stuff that gets thrown out to the media is usually like the stuff that's not
The
too
bad
good.
stuff.
That's the stuff that everyone gets thrown in that category. But there's stuff, if you actually look, like there's some decent stuff. There's some art in there for sure. It's just they're like you said, they're looking for the guidance. Some of them just started.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and they're looking for it, and yeah, if you're not gonna guide the youth, then don't complain about what the youth's doing. For sure, though, like that.
I had to.
Yeah, man. What do you think?
I agree. It took me a while to like listen to a few of the artists, the next wave or whatever you want to call it, and it some of it, like, I agree with you. It's not the greatest, but some of it you could hear the development. You see potential, but then that's just with everybody else too. So it's like, as we get older too, especially, how do we just guide them? I think we can't belittle them all the times. I mean, because then we're going to discourage them. More importantly, it's going to hold resentment towards people who are older.
Oh, right.
And I think if we do that, we won't leave a legacy for them to follow, or to make them. We won't separate. We're no different than people before us at that point, because we're going to belittle and tell them they're not doing a good job of it. And the reality is, like you said, they're brand new to this. And you can't get upset. I tell you, you can't get upset for a young person realizing that there's a new day and age where the trend, and if you write the trend, you could maybe survive it, or you may die with the trend. But some of them just develop it into it, and they get a following, and it's like, hey, you can't get mad at that. They figured it out their way, their path, and I think that's great. And it's different these days, like technology, social media, it all comes together, because it's like a new formula. And I think that's one thing a lot of older heads that won't understand or won't give time to comprehend, because you didn't have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
People had to sell mixtapes out of their truck and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now you can just stream it.
Yeah.
Get the whole world will be exposed to you.
Yeah, there's like there's like a lot of, it's like this guy named like Supreme Patty, like going on Instagram, and I like going on Instagram watching like the guys who are like relevant and like who's on the main, because Instagram tells you like what your the algorithms of Instagram. Like you'll see, mine's always like a lot of music. I'm assuming yours would be music too. All of us, I think, art or form or another.
And you can also follow certain tags or hashtags, and it will just cater to your
to what you're used to. Then now we see a lot of the young generation just doing some, and I don't want to say outlandish, but it's some intense stuff where I'm just like, damn. And you see why a lot of kids are rocking with that, because it's just a wave of like some young reckless teenagers, and a lot of us are over here like belittling it, but they're like, damn, how do we improve that?
Right.
How do we take somebody who that we know we need to help, but we don't know how to help them because there's no communication, there's no engagement. It's interesting.
Like
topic.
there's a detachment in a sense.
There's a big detachment.
Like I don't know why, but like just I don't know if they're like afraid to approach them. Like I mean, it shouldn't be, but it's like it's something that I also observe as like it's easy for them, to keyboard or write, behind the computer screen. But when it comes to like just face to face, it's almost like they're
it's
like some are like afraid to have that discussion.
It's a social. We're socially antisocial because we're socially social on Instagram. But face to face, it's like, and that's going to be the interesting part. I see. It's like going spots and you just see everybody just like on their phones. I mean, it's a way of communication these days, and it's just like a lot of I'm 26, so I think that's when like social media really, when I was like 14, 15, 16, when social media really started like making a big presence in my life with Twitter, Facebook,
like 2010.
Then Instagram really. But I think Instagram like the past 3 to 4 years really started.
It's been crazy.
It's been a crazy like the trend from the timetable of 10 years ago to where we're at now. It's like we went from Twitter, we went like MySpace, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and now we're starting to see like everything just all over the place. I said like you can't. I think how does the old head communicate with the young head on how to do other things? Yes, I don't know. What are you talking about?
So, I mean, yeah, and what's also interesting too is like a lot of these old heads don't realize too is like they were young then too. Like they tend to forget that. I mean, they didn't start off that way. They evolved to their current frame. So I feel a lot some of these old heads, not to bash on the old heads, they're just jumping the gun and they forget that they weren't so squeaky clean when they started off that way. So I mean, that's something that I observed and what intrigued me as like, well, don't forget, And it's like I heard a verse from J. Cole's, I believe it's from his new album. He said like, give me a chance. I was 20 something at that time.
Yeah.
You gotta give a chance for a boy to grow. Yeah, that's what he says in 1985. So yeah, I think I remember one time there was an open mic in LA, and I think it was a hip hop event, but this was like a 30, 40-year-old guy, so it was like hip hop. I mean, it was hip. Yeah, so you could tell like you walk in, like you was like, damn, like I'm really that. I don't feel like I don't belong.
Like you're out of place.
I'm out of place, but yet my I like you guys. I like the music. I like everything, but I do not belong in this circle. I'm the outcast. And then you not hostility, but you sense a disconnection of
in people's vibes.
The way they talk, the everything's just different. It's a different vibe. It's a different generation. It's a lot. So it's like, how do we he's enjoying the air conditioner. I feel you. It hit at the right moment. It hit right now. I was like, okay, we're getting sunny and it hit. I feel like hip hop music, I think not even just so much of hip hop, I think everything would evolve if there was a medium between the two, because how does one learn if no one's willing to teach? And I think that's what's going on, especially this day and age. No one's willing to, maybe no one's willing to listen either.
Right.
A mixture of both.
Yeah, and that's another fact. It's like you said, it is a mixture of both. Like a lot of people, there's some people that are hot-headed that think they know everything, which they don't. But I mean, I can't particularly narrow down a situation, but I have witnessed it before. I mean, I'm sure. Some of you have seen it before in a situation where it's like, man.
It's the ego.
The ego, yeah.
I've seen it a lot. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. with everything, I just say, let the shit that's not evolving, just let it die off. Just wait for it to die off, and things will work how they're supposed to work. Everyone's always, but the thing is, there's always going to be an old head saying that the new shit isn't good. It's been since
anything.
Yeah, with anything,
everything.
it's like, oh, back in my day, my cartoons were better. Like, it's like, I get it. You know, like everyone's always gonna say something. So you just gotta just take some of that with a grain of salt. It's hard for like the young heads in hip hop because they're just constantly getting bashed. But like, just take it and go on with it. Keep doing your thing. There's a reason they're even mentioning you. They know who you are. So just keep doing your thing. Evolve. That's it.
You're either you're good enough to be talked about or not good enough to be talked about.
Yeah.
Either way, you're still being talked about.
You're still being talked about.
And I think that's more important. Yeah, you're being talked about.
Guess we'll wrap up with this subject. Any final thoughts on this first one?
How's this? Oh, go ahead.
Final thoughts on the old heads, young heads.
Leave the air on.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna be a thing forever and ever. It doesn't matter. But just do
It's
you,
inevitable.
man. If you're not gonna, like I said, if you're not gonna guide, just shut up. Just keep doing your thing that you're doing and leave people alone. And that's pretty much it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Stop talking shit. Fix it.
Fix it.
Fix it. While the camera's over there. I'm all staring at the microphone, but the camera's over there. Like, I keep forgetting the camera's right there. I'm over like, fix it. God damn it.
And then, like I said earlier, like if you're gonna complain, then you're obligated to guide the future.
Facts.
That's all I gotta say.
I guess we're all pointing.
Point intensely.
All right. So our final topic is encouragement.
I'm looking forward
And
to
I'll let
go ahead.
Speaks.
This is you.
Go ahead.
So this was my topic.
Thank you for picking this, by the way.
Thanks for having me, both you, everybody. Power of encouragement. I didn't know what I didn't plan to say anything. I was just gonna like off top. But power of encouragement. It's very, very strong. It's very, very necessary in anything that anyone wants to do or has passion for or wants to do something they don't even know that they love yet. But the power of encouragement will get you over like that self-doubt shit, because the self-doubt shit is the number one thing. Like, that's the first thing. It's like, I can't do it. And then on top of self-doubt, you have people that are just haters for no reason. Those people that don't want to see you doing that thing. But like, I just feel like, what's the point of bringing someone down and telling them they can't do something instead of like push somebody? Like, whatever you're gonna do, have people around you that are encouraging. Like, when I meet new artists or artists that are just starting or stuff like that, I'm always encouraging. They're like, oh, I want to try this new idea. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? It's like, do it if you really want to do it. You know, like, don't
half-ass it.
Yeah, man. And like, another thing, power of encouragement is like a two-way thing. If someone's like getting ready to rob a bank, you know, don't be like, yo, dog, you got this shit.
If you get
You can do this. Like, it's different, you know, like, just positive encouragement, you know, like, because I was thinking about that on the way too. I was like, man, someone.
Because
like,
encouragement could go double-edged sword, like you said right now. You can encourage somebody to do something stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't encourage your friends to do anything stupid.
Yeah, just unless they really know the layout.
If you have an idea, we could rob a bank. We'll cut that out. I'm just kidding.
I'm not gonna rob a bank. I'm too tall.
You are. It wouldn't work.
Wouldn't
Never mind. We can't rob a bank.
But yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like, especially in the creative side, like people that are creatives, encouragement is like the most necessary thing for all of us. I mean, it's not needed, but it feels good and it helps you.
It's very
keep
nourishing.
going. It's very, very.
I think encouragement is needed.
It is, but it's like you're not always gonna get that.
You're not.
You know, so you just maybe surround yourself with people that are encouraging and like that are willing to nurture instead of just like tear you down. And then there's just like, yeah, I don't know. I love encouraging people. I really do. Like, I encourage.
Is that what Team Beam's about?
Team Beam is a lot.
I like that.
Team Beam is
Mr. Team Beam.
Mr. Team Beam.
Team Beam. I like that. It's refreshing.
It's a lot of fun. With those guys, they're part of the power of encouragement.
Yeah,
in
that's
life.
what.
You know,
yeah.
like it's a support group, but it's for everybody. We just want, like, we started doing it with each other. And then it got to the point where it's like, all right,
It's a
let's
big
do
thing.
it to like people around us.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, you're at work, people are having a shitty day. Like, you know, that person is going to be like in their mood or whatever. But like, try to help make the day easier for everybody. If we all make each other's day a little bit easier, then it's like, you don't have shitty days. The less shitty days is awesome because we're not here very long. The one thing guaranteed is that nobody gets out of here alive. Like, no one exits this alive. We all, at the end, there's an end. So why not, like, enjoy as much as that time as you can, and why not make it easier for everybody around you so that, like, when you do something nice for someone, that shit lingers with them, and then they're more willing to do something nice for someone else. Because they're like, oh, this person did something nice for no reason. Like, okay, like I can do something nice for no reason. It's not going to hurt me. And that's pretty much the whole Team Beam thing. It's very encouraging. Just love and energy, man. That's it. That's the whole thing. And it's for everybody, man.
It goes a long way.
Yeah, it's not a clique or a club.
It's everybody.
We want everybody. Like, everybody can enjoy this.
It was cool. I enjoyed it when Coachella, right?
Coachella.
Yeah, like Coachella. It was tight. I liked it. It was cool. I met everybody. I mean, I've known them, and then it's just being like you said, being in an environment where it's encouraging, especially as an artist or any type of an entrepreneur, whatever. It's starting a new adventure or just a new idea, whether that is simply like anything. Having some group of people that genuinely support it. Well, not even support it, they support you.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you do, if your people support you and vice versa, like, you could do anything. Like, I'm starting to realize that. Like, I start trying new things, and then I bring it up to them, and then they're either like, oh, I don't know how this will work. Try it this way. They're willing to give me another idea on how to make it work instead of telling me it's not going to work. They're like, that's awesome. What about this way? Like, do that, but this way. And then it's like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. So I've been trying, like, different things. I had, like, running the open mic, the trivia night, and the video game night. It's just things to see if I can do it to bring people together to, like, also expand on that. Like, just to have a good time. And it's just all love, man. Everyone should love each other, man. That's it. If you show more love, like, without,
you're bound to get more love.
You get love back regardless. If you show genuine love, it always comes back.
And also just all that and just the encouragement, it just motivates you.
It does. It does a lot.
Like, you can start off with a rough day, and just by experience, just by anybody that's encouraging you, just can flip your day. And then you feel better. And then just being surrounded by like-minded individuals who share, like, not just similar passions, but any passion, you just feel like, all right, well, I can do this, or I can do more.
True.
And just being around that, I know it's helped me a lot, especially when I was going to art school, and just being surrounded by like-minded individuals, like, just with different passions, different interests, like, audio photography. It just, it inspired me, and at times it inspired them. Like, it just trickled down. It just spread, like a wildfire in terms of, encouragement.
It's the best. It feels good. I like when like a group of people, they're out and they're positive and everything, and then people see that and they're just drawn to it. You want to go kick it with them, like, even if you don't know them. Yeah, and that's what it's about. We're just like getting. Oh my god,
you okay?
Getting more people like comfortable just approaching a group of people that.
Is that like weird that it's an uncomfortable feeling approaching a group of people now?
It is.
Yeah.
It's.
It's interesting.
It's like a safety thing.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
It's like you don't know. It's hard to put yourself out there, and it's even harder now with like the internet has made that more difficult. I feel like the people that can interact with people are like on the elite side of like the social.
In my sincere opinion, I think that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna be elite
because you can talk to people.
You can talk to people, which is kind of interesting.
It's going away. I deal with
kids
every day.
I think if you deal with kids right now, I think you're gonna be more prepared for what's next, because I feel like they kind of are the future.
Yeah, I learned so much from them, like every day. Like you deal with kids a lot too. It's like you learn so much stuff. You learn how
I'm learning this today.
And they're honest too. You're really honest.
Brutally honest.
Kids. And I think that's why it's the conversation between old and new heads. It's cool because like I feel like I'm still relatively young, but to like my 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, I'm like an old guy. So it's cool like getting their information because they're just like, no, don't do that. I'm like, oh, it's not cool anymore, or you're too cool.
No one says that anymore.
No, yeah, I'm just like, oh.
What? I can't say that's tight.
That's tight. No, it's lit. But it's tight, but it's lit. I'm like, it's the same thing to me. Yeah, but it's
there's that's crazy.
The whole it's tight, it's lit.
Bad doesn't mean good anymore.
Bad means bad.
Bad is good.
Bad used to be good.
I don't know anymore. There's sauce. You got the sauce?
Got the sauce.
You got the sauce.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna ask.
But something about Fortnite.
Oh, is that what it?
No, it's not. It's not.
Is that what everything's coming from Fortnite?
Anything that I don't understand, I just say, "Oh, Fortnite."
That's actually part. I feel like do you? Well, I mean, do you play Fortnite? Do you play video games at all?
I play video games, but I don't play Fortnite.
No.
No, I feel that's one of those games that it'll consume me, and I won't get a lot of things done by playing that. I know myself.
Yeah.
So
stay away from that.
When I do play video games, it's games that I can pick up for like 20 minutes and then be done.
Like what?
I play.
Oh no!
No. I play a lot of fighting games. So I play like Street Fighter stuff, Dragon Ball Fighters, things that I can play against other people.
Do you like the new Dragon Ball Z game?
It's the shit, man.
You like
the shit?
See, like shit as in like shit, good.
No, it's dope. Okay. I mean, it's lit.
It's lit. Okay. See, now I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
Which one is it again? I think I've been playing Xbox.
DBZ Fighters.
Is that the one where
it looks like the show? That's great. It's pretty much Marvel vs. Capcom 2. If you like that, you like that.
I like fighting games. But yeah, so encouragement.
Yeah.
Before we get all sidetracked.
I was gonna go into a whole rabbit hole right now.
Go ahead.
No, I don't.
Got time for the rabbit hole.
No, I'm not gonna go into it.
We like the rabbit hole.
I don't
here.
know. Encouragement. It's a key.
It is. I think going back to you said love and energy. I think I don't tell a lot of people what I do right now, and I'm learning not to. Like, especially even if it's on Facebook or Twitter, because a lot of people have quote unquote words of encouragement, but I've learned energy. Going back to that, a lot of people won't. Hey, I hope you do a good job. Chances are they're not the intention behind that. Whether that was like with like great intentions, like I want you to do amazing, or it's like I'm only saying that because I want you to think.
Yeah, that's what you want to hear. That's what you want to hear from me. So that's what. Yeah, that shit scares me so much.
Oh, yeah.
Like the fake shit, it scares me. But now, like, now that I'm aware of like you can
feel it.
Yeah, energy. I used to think was fake. When people would tell me, "Oh, I'm just trying to feel some vibes. I'm trying to feel some energy,"
bro,
I was
real.
like, "Oh yeah, like
Okay,
that,
cool.
all right, man." But then, like once it clicked,
It clicks on you, doesn't it?
Oh, and I was like, I understand all of this. I was like, why didn't anyone tell me about this?
Do you feel like as artists too now when you're behind the mic, do you feel like that vibe, the energy, do you feel it more?
Oh, always.
And then you just realize, oh now I get it.
I get it. Yeah,
interaction.
before when I would perform and I would see people like enjoying it, I was just like, they're just dancing or thanks for they're supporting me. But now like
you will get it. Now you're like,
now I give so much more and then
you get it more.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something before we go because then we got like 5 minutes, but I forgot. Damn. encourage. Oh, I think great encouragement also comes from that real friend who is not the yes man. You know, who is willing to say, "I don't like it, but I know you could do better." Versus, "I like it." I think you need that encouragement too. It's
Yeah,
not
I
negative.
agree.
Yeah.
The criticism.
It's growth.
It's growth.
Yeah.
So I think another word of encouragement is if you know somebody's doing something they could do better, call them out on it.
Yeah.
I think that's something that needs to be discussed too in another form of encouragement.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Before we wrap this topic on, is there any final thoughts on that, or we're good?
Give me a word. Give me some words of encouragement. Give them some words of encouragement.
Words of encouragement. If you love what you're trying to do, push through 100%. You can do it, but it has to be from the heart. If you're not doing it with heart, then there's no point in doing it. So do it with the heart, and you'll be fine. You'll be just fine. It wins every time.
I agree.
Mic drop.
Mic
Got
drop.
that gem right there. All right. So that about wrap it up for our segment for knowledge of self. I want to thank Speaks Geeks for that
Thank you guys for having me.
It's with two E's.
Oh yeah, SPEEKSGEAK.
Spell it right.
SPEEKSGEAK.
Put some respect on the E's, man. My bad. I know because everybody spells your name wrong.
Yeah. SPEEKSGEAK.
Man, say he's for real. Like, I remember last time I see you perform it. Remember at Al House, you erased it because they spelled your name wrong. He was like, spell my name right. I agree, but you should.
It's my fault.
But yeah, I was also gonna say, like, social media wise too.
Oh yeah, social media. If you want to find me on social media, SPEEKSGEAK. Until they spell it right, I'm gonna keep spelling it.
No, you should keep doing it. That's a good thing. Nado, I am New Age Takeover on Instagram or New Age Athletics. That's about it. Thank you for being our guest today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And then you can also find us on Untapped Hip Hop on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. And also, we just recently started a new Twitch account. You can find us at Untapped Hip Hop live on Twitch. Beyond that, we'll see you guys next time.
Team Beam.
Sick.
Tap into your potential.
Yeah.